Hey y'all, little late and a little technical difficulty, but it's 4 o'clock-ish. You are at Rosetree Blown Glass Studio and Gallery in beautiful, historic downtown Algiers Point, New Orleans, Louisiana. We got a little bit to do today and some things to go over. I'm Mark, and I'm the owner here at Rosetree along with my wife Brenda. And what we're going to do is...
Why did it flip? It's on me. It's showing me. I don't want to see me.
Sorry. Brenda's doing the camera now. Let's try something. You gotta... What did you hit?
I have no idea.
Continue. Hi! Well, this is going to be kind of weird. See, Darcy's not here. Darcy is feeling a little under the weather. And Brenda is running the camera, and she hit something to flip it around. So, yeah, we're on. So I'm going to try and see what she did to flip it. So I might be going on and off for a second here. Let's try that. Nope. Okay, if somebody could tell me why it's flipping, why it flipped, let's try this. Aha! Don't hit that button. So anyway, Brenda is our surprise photographer today, videographer. If you have any questions about what we're doing, you can put it in your comments and Brenda will relay those questions to me. So first thing, I promised a surprise, I think, for our Facebook Live viewers. And what we're going to do is we have a table set up with some items, and although our pricing is very good already, these prices that are on here, if you tell us in the comments which piece you want, we'll take 10% off of that in our when we check you out. So anyway, we start with we have a little wavy vase for $65. We have a little wavy bowl for $50. We have heart paperweights, which are $40. We have a tall heart vase, which is $65. Again, some of these are pieces that we don't have in our regular production schedule, maybe things that we tried and moved along from there. We do have these wonderful little bud vases that are selling really well. They're normally $49, so you would get like $5 off of that.
It's frozen.
We're frozen.
It says frozen.
Are we still frozen? I don't think.
Okay.
We have flowers for $25, and we have this heart vase. Got a little heart-shaped lip for $55, and another little bud vase for $49.
You keep freezing and it's blurry.
Don't know what to tell you. Patty? Are we still freezing? I'll just keep going. Are we on? Can somebody tell me if we're on? Oh, this kind of sucks. Not frozen. Yay! All right. And then we come over to the... Okay. These are the Atomizers. And the Atomizers are normally $89 each, and you'll get 10% off of that. So this is the gold one that we did on Tuesday. So if you want that, we have a Cool Mix one back here, a nice white one, and also a blue and green stripe one. So, all right, let's go. I'm going to hand it back to Brenda, and we're going to go over to make some stuff. Whew, this is tough. It's like work. You get closer, I won't hit you. All right, so today, as promised, I'm going to make a yellow Primo bowl. So this is going to be a 3-layer piece. Each layer is called a gather, so it's a 3-gather piece. The color will be on the second gather. So the first gather will be clear, the second gather will have the color, and the third gather will be clear again. All right, so I think that's all the business starting up. Are we still blurry, or are we clear? Not unfrozen? I could go and pretend we were frozen, but not. Okay, so hydrate. Again, if you have any questions, put them in the comment section. If you want one of our pieces, put it in the comment section, and we'll work out a bill to you, and also like I said, we'll take 10% as a thank you for sticking with us. So we're going to go over to the furnace. So this is the furnace, and inside there is a ceramic bowl called a crucible, and the crucible holds up to 400 pounds of molten glass, and it's 2,050 degrees inside there. There's a blowpipe. It's the same kind of tool the glass blowers have been using, same methodology the glass blowers have been using for over 2,000 years. So I'm going to get my first layer of glass on the pipe. And then we're going to go back to my bench and put my bubble in. This table is called a marver, and the marver is used to shape the glass and to cool the glass. So I am setting the glass up to put the first bubble in, the starter bubble. So I'm going to do what's called an air trap. I'm going to blow into the end, put my finger over the end, and trap the air inside, and you'll see the bubble appear. What happens is cold air pushes against the hot glass and heats up, and hot air takes more room than cold air, so it expands and pushes against the glass to form a bubble. We got people signing in, Brenda?
Yeah, a few. Erin wants to know is today's piece yellow? Yes, it is.
Today's piece is yellow, and then cool mix in white. Come on over. So this is a daffodil, which is a nice bright yellow. You can see it on the picture that I posted, and then the bottom of it is going to be the cool mix in white color. All right. So I saw Shaw was on.
Yes, and Barry's on, and Rachel Shields is on.
Wonderful.
I'm not very good at this, guys, so bear with me. Darcy left early. She's feeling under the weather today, so.
Yeah, the weather, our weather is just like going back and forth, hot, cold, hot, cold. So it's like, I'm all stopped up. My ear is like, I can't hear out of this ear. And it affects different people in different ways. And so Darcy just needed to go home. So she'll be back again. Not to worry. The Darcy fan club, don't worry. All right. So the first layer is done, and I was waiting for this to cool off. Okay, we're back. We have our little glitches. All right, so I'm going to get my next layer on and go back into the color.
So Patty's asking, where do the colors come from? Do you mix them yourself?
Okay, the colors, there are two main manufacturers of the colors for furnace glass. And I got a bubble in here, so I picked the bubble out before I go into the colors. I'm going back over my bench. There are two main manufacturers. One used to be in New Zealand, but they just moved to Portland, I think it was. And the other is in, actually there are three, and there's another one in Germany. So what I did there, I just picked out a bubble, and I'm going to heat it up again. So we buy the color, there are hundreds of different shades and types of colors. This color is formulated to fit our glass, and by fitting I mean everything when it heats and cools expands and contracts. So glass, when it heats and cools, you might not realize it, but it does to a small degree. So if I have two glasses that are not the same expansion contraction, when it contracts, when it's cooling, if there's different rates, the piece will crack. That's why I can't use bottle glass for this. So anyway, the glass that we use is, the color we use is formulated to fit the glass, our clear glass. If that's making sense to you. So it comes in bunches of colors, transparents, opaques, sizes, the grain size that you can pick. So there are lots of different variables that you can use.
Barry said, I see it's warm down there again.
Yes, it's in the 70s.
And then it's supposed to get cold again this weekend.
So yeah, it's like I said, it's making us all crazy. But I guess it's better than snow. So I'm going to put 3 layers of the yellow on. And then the part closest to the blowpipe is the lip of the piece, the top of the piece. So I'm melting it in between each time so that the color will be in layers, and I'll get a nice heavy layer of color on the piece. Because when you blow the piece, the color thins out. Alright, so that's the yellow. I'm going to heat that up, and then I'm going to go into the cool mix in white for the bottom of the piece. So this reheating chamber is just hot. It doesn't have any glass in it, and it runs at about 2100, 2200 degrees or so. And that is on just when we're working. When we're done working, we turn it off. We turn them on when we come in the morning, as opposed to the furnace, which is on all the time. The furnace is well insulated, and you can actually touch the outside. But that stays on all the time because if we turned it off, it would take days to come back up to temperature. So we keep it on all the time because we're blowing glass all the time. Okay, so that's my color application. I'm going to smooth all this out. I'm always turning when I'm in the reheating chamber because the glass is a liquid, so it's kind of like honey. It feels like honey. And if I stop turning, just like it would, like honey would, it would drip off the end of the pipe. I'm going to heat this up one more time and kind of make the bottom spin a little bit.
So Aaron said it must be some thick insulation.
Yes, on the furnace, it's probably I would say it's about 14 or 15 inches of insulation. All different rated insulation, which means that it's rated for up to 2,600 degrees.
Barry's asking, how long does it take the reheating chamber to get up to temperature?
Mine takes about an hour and a half, really. We have a smaller one, which one of my other guys uses, and his takes about a half hour. So by the time I'm done setting up and putting out tools and cleaning up and everything, then that one's ready to roll. And it depends on the type of reheating chamber. Mine is made out of brick, so that it's a soft brick, but it still takes longer to heat up, and it also holds the heat longer. So that when I open the doors, like we're going to do with the bowl, when I open the door, the heat won't all escape. It'll hold the residual heat in the bricks. Now the smaller one is made of what's called fiber. It's like a fiber insulation, and that one, when you open the doors, all the heat escapes. So I did an air trap again. You can see the bubbles start blowing out. So you start getting fatter right around here.
So Rachel asked, what do you do with the little pieces that you cut off?
Some of it goes to landfill, which we don't really like. But there isn't really glass recycling in New Orleans. And some we sell, depending on what it is. So like the trims like this, we have an artist in Baton Rouge that uses it in her work. Little marbles and that kind of stuff we use sometimes in pieces. So it just depends. So I got my color already on, and so I have a yellow collar towards the end of the pipe, and the cool mix in white will be the bottom of the bowl. So I'm letting this cool, and I'll get one more layer of glass on it, and I'm going to use what's called a block, which is this, to shape the glass. The block is made out of wood. It's usually a fruit wood, and the grain of the fruit wood allows it to hold water more, so that the piece will ride on a layer of steam rather than burn the wood. All right, so the color's mostly gone. So I'll get my last gather of glass out of the furnace.
Notice how his hands are constantly keeping the pipe turning.
I can't hear you. Okay, so that's my last layer. So I'll use the wood block to bring the glass away from the pipe and try to deposit it more on the bottom. So the bottom is thicker, because the bottom is what's going to blow out the most.
So Erin wants to know, does any particular fruit wood work better than another?
Cherry.
Cherry.
So I'm going to heat this up again and use the block again, because really what I'm doing now is I'm heating up that inside core also, so that when I blow I don't have a cold core. The cold core was good to put the layer on to gather as much glass as I could, but to blow the cold core isn't good. So I'm heating it up and melting that cold core so that we can blow it.
Rachel wants to know, how long does it remain shapeable once removed from the heat?
It depends on the thickness of the glass. If it's real thin, it's like, 10-15 seconds. If it's real thick, you have I don't know, a minute or so. So you see that it's kind of pear-shaped, where I brought the glass down this way, and I'm going to start to blow. Same thing with the air trap. And that bubble on the inside is going to start expanding. So you'll see it start to push out over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a tool called jacks, and I'm going to use the jacks to cut a line in right next to the end of the pipe, and that's where it will eventually come off the pipe. That's where it will release. So again, I'm always turning. So if you let the piece get too cold, I say you have a lot of time to work it if it's thicker. But if you let it get too cold, then it's more time reheating. So it's a trade-off. So I'm using the jacks. So you see I'm putting a line in it, and then I will blow some more. Using the marker to cool the bottom of the piece and to shape it. I want to keep the glass thick there as long as I can, because I'm working on the shoulder of the piece. Just push. That's our UPS guy. Like I said, we could be like Mr. Rogers and have the friendly UPS man come over and say hello.
The end of day is right here.
Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm going to use this wet graphite pad, and I'm going to control and cool the bottom of the piece while I'm blowing out the shoulder a little bit more. I still have a nice thickness on the bottom. So the pad cooled the bottom so that it can go out more on the sides. So I have a little bit more to go, and I will heat the whole thing back up again so that I can puff out the shoulder a little bit more. Each time you'll see that depending on what I want to do, the time in the reheating chamber changes also. And as it gets thinner, I don't have to spend as much time in there as when it's thicker. Nice size now, and I'm going to flatten the bottom because the bowl has to sit on the table. Make sure it's real flat, and if it's not perfectly flat when I get it out of the oven in the morning, we can grind it. We have diamond wheels, big 18-inch diamond wheels, flat wheels, and we put it on to make sure it's even. Okay, so now I'm just going to give this with a little glass of air, just to cool that a little bit, and then I'm going to get a punty, which is going to be another rod with a little bit of glass on it, I'm going to stick it on the bottom, cut it off here at my jack line, and it'll separate from here to the punty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang it up and go get the punty with some glass, and I'll be back in a second. So the punty has to be the right temperature and the right size, because you want the punty to stick on the piece, but you don't want it to stick on the piece so much that it tears the bottom out of the piece when you take it off the punty. But you want it to stick enough so that when you crack it off the pipe, it doesn't fall on the floor. So there's lots that's going on. So I put that right on the bottom. Take this file, which has diamonds impregnated on it, and I'm going to use that jack line and score that jack line with some water. Push and come in, just stand over there. We're on live right now. That's a cameo by Doug and Natalie. You know Doug and Natalie, that was them.
Hey, I can't see that far.
All right, enjoy. All right. They are touring around Algiers Point because in New Orleans we don't have Mardi Gras, but we have what's called Yardi Gras, which people are decorating their houses as floats, and you go around and go from house to house and just look and see what people have done to decorate. So Doug and Natalie are doing a tour today of Algiers Point. So what I did was I'm heating the whole thing up, I'm flashing the whole piece to make sure the punty stays warm. And then I come back and just heat the lip, because the lip is the part that I want to shape. But I always have to go in and flash the punty, because if I don't keep that hot, if I put it down too hard, or if I press on it too hard when I'm shaping it, it'll snap off. So I get good heat on that, and then come back to the bench. And open it a little bit. And I'm going to take another reheat and trim the lip, make it even. So the first heat was actually the longest heat, because the lip was the coldest part of the piece. So now the reheats will take a little bit less time. And I'm going to use these special scissors they're actually called duckbill shears. And I'm going to cut the lip, trim it so it's nice and even. And then I'm going to spend some time setting up the piece for final spin, which will be when it opens up for the final shape.
I'm afraid
Again,
I'm
always
not as good as Darcy is with his filming. I think I've only done it once before.
So I'm flashing the whole piece and then working on the lip. And I'm watching for the shoulder to start to move out with centrifugal force. And that'll tell me that it's starting to get hot where I want it to be. So I'm letting that shoulder go out. So I want that to start opening up to be a bowl.
Thanks, Barry.
So you see the opening is getting bigger on its own. So really that's all I'm going to open it by myself. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the heat of the reheating chamber and centrifugal force and let the whole thing open up, and then I'm going to ripple it. You got it open double wide now. I'm heating up the punty, and then coming back and just trying to heat up the top half. Again, I'm going to flash the punty and then come out and just heat the top half. And you'll see the shoulders start to move, so it's getting close. So, a couple seconds, keep your eyes peeled. See how the lip is starting to come out. And then one final move. Spin it open, and then drop it down.
I always love seeing that part. The spinning of it.
And just, I mean, it can be all different. It doesn't have to be even. I don't know if you know me, I love it even, but sometimes just letting the glass do its thing is nice. So because it's so wide now, I can't heat it anymore, so it is done. We'll go over to table. And if I put the punty on correctly, if I tap it, it comes off. And then I use a torch to smooth out the punty mark that was left. And then heat up my gloves a little bit.
Now those are fiberglass gloves, huh?
They are fiberglass mix, yeah. And that's the bowl. And in the oven, just like that. So the oven is 920 degrees or so. Let me just shut this. It's about 920 degrees. And the piece sits in there overnight for about 16 hours or so. The piece sits in there. And it will go from 920, stabilize at 920 across the whole piece, and then slowly overnight cool down to room temperature so the piece doesn't crack. Again, expansion and contraction. If it cools too fast, it's going to crack. And that's pretty much it. So let's go back over to the stuff that we have out on our little display here. I'll give you one more time to go through.
You want to hold it?
I will hold it. So we have the Wavy vase, which is about 8 inches tall or so, and that's $65. Remember, you get 10% off of any of these prices. We have the red Wavy Bowl. It'll be a nice Valentine's present. Those are $50. We have 3 different color heart paperweights. We have a rainbow, a hot mix, and a cool mix, and those are $40 each. We have the tall, we call it a tall heart vase because the lip is a shape of a heart, and again that's about 9 or 10 inches tall, and that is $65. We have we have 3 actually of the bud vases. We have red and white, 2 red and white ones, and we have a pink one, and those are $49. The flower is $25. That's a red one, and we also have a pink one inside that bud vase. And we have the heart vase, which is kind of shaped like a heart, and that's $55. And we walk over here to the Atomizers. We have the Atomizer that I did on Tuesday, the gold one. We have the cool mix one. We have a matte white one, and we have a matte blue and green one. And again, those are $89. You can take 10% off of that. So we come back to me. Here I am. All right. So if you want any of those, just message Rosetree if you haven't already put it on your in the box. And that's going to be it for today. As always, help out small businesses in your area or anywhere really. Everybody's on the web now. You can find us at www.rosetreegallery.com and on Instagram at Rosetree Glass Gallery, Facebook, Rosetree Blown Glass. All of these are going on YouTube, and YouTube we are Rosetree Blown Glass Studio and Gallery. All right, that's it for today.
And I'm going to say hi to everybody.
Hi and bye.
Hi and bye.
Thank y'all for coming. Have a great weekend. I'm not picking a Super Bowl team because my team's not in it, so I really don't care. Thanks for coming as always. Take care of one another, love one another. We'll see y'all on Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.